Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in Matchplay, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy is the number one shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
G'day everybody, welcome to Talk Birdie to Me. It's another feedback edition. Thanks so much for all the feedback, we really appreciate it. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can go to talkbirdie2me.com.au, scroll down a little bit, you can just leave a message, push the record button, or get in touch with our socials, Nick, because we really enjoy doing these feedback pods.
Absolutely love these.
And we just had a voicemail message kick in right away. So off the top, we might
go away. Here we go.
You have one new voicemail. New message.
Hey, Nick and Marco, Rob from Rye calling. Love the show. I have a rules question for you. A recent match play event. Match concludes with a 4-2 win to the winner, who subsequently walking off the course declares that he has 15 clubs in the bag and has had them for the entire round. What's the ruling?
Well, without... I would like to get Stu involved, but without speaking to Stu, I think he's in real trouble.
I think so. He's credited his honesty, though. I think that well done. At the end of it, he probably thought, should I?
Yeah, that's right. He could have just quickly gone and put the clubs in the car, but that's what golf's all about, folks. Yeah. We don't do that in this game.
Etiquette of the game.
That is right. So my early guess would be the 4-2 turns into a DQ. And it's all over Red Rover.
The only thing I'm wondering is it's after the fact, so does it not count then? Anyway,
well, you've shaken hands. Yeah, that's right. Well, you've shaken hands.
You've already signed your scorecard. You're in the clubhouse. I mean,
let's get Stu.
Stu's going to know.
Okay.
Stu McPhee. We're lucky here at Talk Birdie to Me to have a hotline to the greatest rules official in the whole world. One of the only 100%ers.
The David Duval of...
He's level 5 rules official.
Rules officials.
He's a level 5er. His name is Stuart McPhee, and it's nice to see you, Stu.
It's great to see you guys. It's very kind of you to say.
Cheers,
thanks for having me on.
No, looks like he's in a nightclub, like a smoke machine or something.
Something's going on. That's just the way we like him. Now, Stu, we've just had a message, and it was relayed to us that at a golf course somewhere in Australia, a match had been played. 4-2 was the score, and the person who won 4-2, as after they'd shaken hands and as they were walking to the clubhouse, discovered in his golf bag 15 clubs. Which is over regulation. Now, Nick and I were thinking, well, that 4-2 probably turns into a DQ, but we wanted to get the rinky-dink from you.
Wow, I'm sure that's happened a few times. To answer that question, not knowing any more specifics, I'm going to make two assumptions. The first assumption I'll make is that the players haven't reported that match score to the committee. In other words, they haven't made the result of that match final. In other words, they're still walking to the clubhouse and goes, I've got 15 clubs. So that match isn't final yet. That's when you go back to the committee and report it or put it on the scoreboard for everyone to watch, to see. That's when it becomes final. So I'll assume it's not final. I'll also assume that the player didn't start the round knowing they had 15 and played the entire round or match with 15 and then told their opponent afterwards that it was just an innocent mistake and they've gone, oh, geez, you wouldn't believe it, I've got 15 clubs. So as I'm going to make those two assumptions, which are reasonable assumptions to make. The first question I would ask the supposed loser is whether they conceded the match to their opponent. Now, just shaking hands on the green is not a concession.
Really?
So, Mark, if I said to you, hey, Mark, you were too good today, well played, congratulating you, that's not conceding the match. That's just congratulating you on the... Absolutely, yeah.
Even though you've finished
distinction between those two things.
I would never have believed that in a million years.
Yeah, so just congratulating you and almost acknowledging the result is not conceding the match to you. So if there's no concession made, because a concession is final, if they concede and go, yeah, your match, words to that effect, then that's done and dusted. But so there was a concession, it's over. If there wasn't a concession, then we can apply the penalty, and it's not disqualification. In match play with 15 clubs, it's a unique penalty. You don't see it anywhere else in the rules of golf, and it's called a match adjustment penalty. So it's not strokes lost or it's not loss a hole. It's, as the name suggests, the match score is simply adjusted. You wouldn't believe it, though. It's only to a maximum of 2 holes. So you could have had 15 clubs for 16 holes. You actually only get a maximum penalty for 2 holes, and it's the first holes where the breach was. So, so in this particular case, it's only an adjustment of 2. So that 4-2 result all of a sudden becomes 2 up with 2 to play. That's what and I was on the committee. I'd say, guys, you need to go back to the 17th tee. This match is not over, and resume play of this match. That guy is 2 up. I'll just say one more thing.
Yeah.
I could be a little bit particular and say, do both of you agree that it was a 4-2 result? You come off and you're lost and you sort of don't care what goes up on the board. You've lost. But did they both agree it was 4-2? What happened on that 16th green for the winner to think it was 4-2? Did the loser think it was? They might have just both picked up their maul barkers together, accepting the match was over. I mean, is that conceding that hole, for example? So if I got to the bottom of that, that's being a little bit pedantic because, it makes a big difference now because it's either 2 up with 2 to play or only 1 up with 1 to play.
That's right.
So I'd probably dig a little bit deeper to find out what the match score. Either way, I'd be sending them to the 17th tee to resume play of that match.
Very interesting. Thanks, Stu. So the 2 holes you're saying, now that comes off the overall score. It doesn't go from the first 2 holes of play. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
No. So as I said, it's a unique penalty where it's a match adjustment. Now, if you and I were playing Stableford and I found out on the 16th green, you wouldn't believe it, guys, I've got 15 clubs, I would have received a general penality, but only for the first 2 holes.
2 holes,
right.
Yeah.
So in Stableford, if I'd already wiped those holes,
it doesn't matter.
0 points.
That was going to be my question.
No
if you'd lost those first 2 and it happens to be the first 2, well, it doesn't
matter. That's right, but it actually just...
it doesn't matter. So what this actually means is it's unique in match play, as I said, the penalty. It also means after 2 holes, you could be 4 down. Because you could have lost the first 2 holes and then found out you had 15 clubs and the match is adjusted, the match score is adjusted by 2 and all of a sudden you're 4 down after 2.
Right, Stu, just to be crystal clear, even if the guy who won 4-2 supposedly, even if he did lose the first 2 holes, you'd still send him to the 17th tee as a dormy match.
Yeah, we don't go through hole by hole. We simply adjust the match score at the time. Okay. And we can only do it to a maximum adjustment of 2 holes. That's all we can do it. So that 4-2 becomes 2 up with 2 to play. But as I said, it could be 1 up with 2 to play.
Yep.
If we don't
that's why this bloke is number 1, mate.
He is the best.
You are the number 1.
Okay. Well, and there's a reason he's number 1 because a few weeks ago you said to me, you told me this Tiger Woods story about how he didn't have any golf balls left in his bag. Or he couldn't.
He had 1 left.
He had 1 left. But you said to me, if you take a ball out of play, you cannot put it back into play.
That's right. He had some of those balls left.
Yes.
But he only had 1 newie left.
Okay. So, Stuart, can you please tell my good friend here what the ruling is there?
Has it changed? Has it changed since 2000?
It must have.
Well, I can't say definitively whether it's changed because I don't know what the rule was back 25 years ago. But what I can tell you now that is whenever you start play of a hole, you can change ball. You can use the same ball for the first 2 holes and start with another ball on the 3rd hole.
Yep.
But that ball you played the first 2 holes with and don't play the 3rd hole with, that's still in your bag. That's still available to you as a conforming ball. You absolutely can use that ball.
Even though you've taken it out of play, you can put it back into play.
So there's a more technical definition of taking a ball out of play, and that's to lift a ball or deliberately move it from its spot from a ball that is in play. That's what I refer to as taking a ball out of play. But if you stop using a ball after the first 2 holes and tee off on the 3rd with another, that ball you use is still available to you as long as it's conforming and it's... I mean, we can talk about the 1 ball rule used at professional level because you guys are too good, but it's still available to you. You can also borrow golf balls from other people on the course.
Even at the highest level? At the US Open?
Well, the highest level, you'd have the restriction of the 1 ball model local rule, which all professional tours use, so that's the same brand and model, right? Because you guys are too good. We know you can't have you playing with a different characteristics.
Can you imagine playing the last round of a tournament? You've run out of balls, and your playing partner has your ball that you use. He says, "Nope, I'm not going to give you any."
That's right. That's right. You're gone. You're walking off. Now, you know what we have to do now? Now we have to get Steve Williams on the podcast.
To tell the
I think I told you last week that
he's written a new book, hasn't he?
Evan
Priest.
Evan Priest has written a new book with Steve Williams, and that book was sent to me, and I'm sure it was sent to me for a reason. So we need to get Steve on to delve a little deeper
never got a book.
into 2000. Well, they probably didn't know where they could send it to. They could send it to 3AW for me. That's interesting.
Can I just say one more thing about changing balls? You can actually change balls during play of a hole a bit more often than you think, because whenever you're taking relief under any rule, anywhere on the course, whether it be free or penalty, you can actually use the ball, clean it. You can actually use another ball. You can put another ball into play.
Really?
You know, maybe it's really muddy, the original, you don't want to take time to clean it. You just put another ball into play. That's in play. You pick up the muddy one. It's out of play now. You can clean it as you're walking down the green and use it on the next hole.
That's why he's the best.
No problem.
I'm absolutely certain that wasn't the case 25 years ago. I think things have been changed and changed for the better by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Now, Stu, you're doing rules seminars at golf clubs all around Australia at the moment, aren't you? If people are impressed with what they've heard today and they want to maybe get you to come and talk about some rules and some interpretations, how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I'm really enjoying going to different clubs around Melbourne and talking to members, mainly women. They're the ones that are a little bit more interested in the rules than it seems the men, but enjoying speaking to club golfers. They can do just a Google search for me. I'm sure they can get in contact with you guys and you can pass on the details. But I really look forward to hearing from anyone who wants me to come along and speak to their club.
Well, we feel sport to always be able to get you on, Stu. Thanks so much for taking our call, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, Stu.
Always a pleasure. Happy to help, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good on you, Stu McPhee. Level 5, the greatest ever.
How good.
Oh, mate. You'd be so confident, him coming over the hill of the buggy, that you were going to get the right call.
Yes.
So confident.
All right, guys, we're going to go to the turn. However, after the turn, we have a video message from an international wolfpacker.
Is this the first time we've had a video message?
Yes, it is.
I think so.
How long we had the feature
Fantastic.
up for? 2 years? It's the first one?
2 years? I don't know.
Righto.
We'll have a look at that next.
All right.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number one ball in golf is Titleist and the number one shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app, and Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie to Me. Here's Nick and Mark.
You've got mail.
Hi guys, touching in from over in the Middle East in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where it's 1,000,000 degrees at the moment, so I'm hiding in the car before going into work. I just wanted to see if you guys could give a mention to my partner Leah, who will be equal parts mortified and excited that I'm reaching out to a podcast to mention anything relating to this little achievement. When Leah did what I'm about to explain, I'm sure when I said I'll do something for you, she thought I'd take you out for dinner or buy a new golf outfit or a new wedge or a new putter or something. I don't think quite she anticipated I'd reach out to a podcast or a shout out, but here we are. Not any podcast, the best podcast going, no doubt. But some 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had our local club championships over here in Riyadh, where golf is booming. Getting tee times is becoming quite difficult. We had a 2-day 36-hole club championships. There was an open sex arrangement. There wasn't a males division, a females division. But my partner Leah was able to win the entire tournament. Beat the men, beat the locals, beat the expats. Naturally, by extension, she beat me. She's got bragging rights in the family. Not that beating me is any great achievement. She's a better golfer than me at the best of times. But yeah, I thought it was worthy, given that I don't think many females would go out and beat the males in an open sex club championships anywhere. So I played like garbage the whole round because I was in the group behind Leah. So whilst the players on my group thought when I was looking through the rangefinder constantly, I was overdoing trying to find distances when I was playing terrible. But in fact, I was actually just using it as a telescope to watch what was going on her group. So, yeah, as I said, I'm sure she thought I'd take her out for dinner, not mention her on a podcast. But yeah, here we are, guys. So I felt a little like Nick did when he was mentioning Alana shot her personal best recently. I was up on the group behind, as I said, cheering her on from afar. So, yeah, if you could give Leah a shout out, that'd be great. Cheers, guys.
Well,
how good.
That is sensational. I mean, I know at my club, and I know at lots of clubs right around the country, it's a single, Stableford comp or park comp or even the monthly medal these days. So that's been going for a while. It's the first I've heard of
everyone plays
one club championship.
I wonder, I'm assuming they probably played off different tees and all that, but still, what an achievement. Husband of the year right there, by the way, for shouting out. Maybe she doesn't think that, but that's fantastic.
No, I love those stories. I love those stories.
But especially in Riyadh, I mean, it's so hot over there. I wonder if it's that Under Lights golf course where they play the live event.
Well, that'd be
that's
nice,
where they play
it?
as well.
Yeah, it'd be nice in that heat to play Under Lights. But what an accomplishment. That is fabulous. We love hearing these stories. Absolutely love it.
Brilliant.
And congratulations to Leah.
Yes.
Well done to you. What a star you must be.
Oh, no, well done, Leah. Well done, Rion, too. That's terrific. Okay, question, guys. Love the podcast. Is this the best chance for many years for someone to win all 4 majors in a calendar year? Rory has won the first. You can't win them all if you don't win the first one.
Yeah, that's true. He's won the first 2, really. You call the Players' Championship. I won't go down there again, but he's won the Players, won the Masters.
That'd be the ultimate Grand Slam.
We're talking about saying it could line up, but unfortunately for Rory, we've just seen Scotty Scheffler just go bananas.
Yeah, decimate the field.
In Dallas, which is ominous, I think.
If there's ever a chance, other than back in the Tiger era, and I guess since Scotty didn't win the first major this year, it's doable. I mean, Quail Hollow, he's won 4 times, so that sets up nicely. You've got Oakmont, which you need to be able to drive the ball fantastic. Again, sets up well for Scotty.
Well,
then Port Rush, which is, hometown stuff for Rory. So it'll be
what
fun.
a dream setting that would be. Imagine if he had all 3... coming to Port Rush.
Could you imagine?
It would be enormous. The eyes of the world sport.
He'd be coming to play the Australian Open at Royal Melbourne.
Yeah, you have to come all the way there.
What do you think?
No, it's well, you've got to win the first to be able to win them all.
That's true.
We say it every year, but yeah, look, it does line up well for Rory. Is he rested? Will his game stay in shape? I think, what I do think, I think there's a big monkey off his back. So that's an old Greg Norman saying, but maybe the shackles are off. Who knows?
True. Very true.
That was from Andrew, by the way, that question.
Good on you, Andy.
I did mention Andrew's name. This one here from Damian. This is a really interesting one, I reckon. Hey, boys, love the show. Can you explain to me what tour pros mean when they say, and I've heard this quite a few times in commentary recently, when they say that the way they hit on the range before a tournament changes their plan and execution for their game for that day? I'm a single handicap golfer. I practice a lot, but I can't imagine giving away my planned swing on the morning of a comp. Could you please clarify exactly what they mean when they say that?
Well, it could be a couple of things when commentators say that. Number one is the ball is either flying further or shorter. It's hot, it's cold. Conditions change, so then they're going to have to change their club selection for certain holes.
And maybe carry selections for drivers and stuff. We saw Rory didn't. I mean, Rory, this is the big one. On round 3, he looked at his numbers. He knew his numbers were fast, and that changed things for him on the first couple of holes.
First 2 holes, he knew the fairway bunkers weren't in play. Send it. Otherwise, he may have hit a 3-wood or something like that. But and then the other thing is sometimes you have those warm-ups where all of a sudden the ball's just keeps going left to right, to right, and you're going, what's going on here? Well, rather than fighting it, why don't we play with it? Yeah. So then you maybe change your strategy out on the golf course. So it's very situational.
Yeah, that's right. And it's funny, because sometimes I would do that. I'd be hitting balls going, oh, that's a nice little left to right. This feels safe. You get on the first tee, go right to left, and then you're back to square one. But that happens a lot as well. So it's not just you guys, who get your clubs out of the car on a Saturday morning for your second round for the month. It happens to the very best. Sometimes you sleep funny, you wake up in a funny position, and you get out in the golf course and maybe your shoulders just aren't quite turning like they were yesterday.
Yeah.
And things change. It's that simple.
You just got to roll with it.
Yep.
A couple of weeks ago, you were talking about costs, and this was in response to a listener question or a comment about costs of playing golf and memberships and playing with friends coming along. Michael wrote in. This is interesting.
Okay.
Michael wrote in, guys, regarding golf membership costs, I played with a member of an exclusive Los Angeles country club a couple of weeks ago, and we got to talking about various golfing costs. Here's his costs. Strap yourself in for this.
Ooh.
The club joining fee, $250,000 US.
Standard.
Plus,
for a ripper.
Plus 5% of the member's annual cash flow to be donated to charity each year.
5% of the members' cash flow. So that's money that comes into the club.
Well, I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
I think it would be money coming into the club. Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Other than taking 5% of everyone's wages.
Yeah. Well, imagine if Elon Musk is a member there or something. All of a sudden, the 5%.
Well,
So,
hey.
it would be the cash flow at the club for sure.
Plus, 100 hours of each member's time must be given pro bono to charitable causes.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
This
from
is quite a club.
This could only be California.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's it. That's from
Yeah.
Michael.
Oh, okay,
He just mentioned it and saying that is mind blowing, which it kind of is really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only has 6 members there, apparently.
It wouldn't have too many members. I think you're right. It would have a small amount of members. It's probably chock full of members who have made their money.
Yeah.
And it's a charitable sort of place. Who knows where it is?
Good luck to them. What a great idea.
Couple of last ones here. G'day, boys. Nick, you mentioned on the Masters pod recently about how good the Champions Locker looked at Augusta, and I've got a top 5 idea for you.
Ooh.
The best facilities on tour. For example, the venue with the best food, the one with the best perks for caddies, the one with the best catering, the best driving range. You sort of mentioned a bad driving range recently.
Yep.
Closest parking to the clubhouse, best clubhouse, or anything else. Cheers, Roscoe from Mackay.
Give me
Very
some of the
good.
best clubhouses. I keep on hearing Jack's place, Muirfield.
Muirfield's good. Yeah, it's home. I don't say homely. It's nice,
Comfortable.
understated. Riviera has an incredible clubhouse.
Does it?
That's just incredible. Congressional, huge clubhouse.
Yeah. Funnily enough-
obviously TPC Sawgrass is state of the art.
Funnily enough, Augusta's is understated.
Very.
The Augusta clubhouse, completely understated.
And that's why I love it. I think it's fantastic. I mean, where they're going for the US Open this year, the Oakmont, that's a very prestigious old money type clubhouse.
Never
up there,
been there,
so-
but I can imagine it would be comfortable.
Yeah, the members there typically say the week of the US Open, they love to talk to some of the pros as they are. We have the greens much quicker than this every week.
Yeah, that's right. They have to slow
They
it
love
down.
saying
They've
that,
got to
yeah.
slow it down for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tournament, is what they say.
Yeah, sure.
And then you got the club. What about the clubhouses in Australia? So I always find Kooyonga is a very comfortable place.
Very nice.
Every time I'm there, it's
Yeah,
comfortable.
they've redone that.
They've redone it. They've got the wine
ago.
cellar front and centre, which is, if you're
always
listening to this internationally, Adelaide's very famous for their wines, and that's right in the middle of the members' lounge is this amazing wine cellar. I'm thinking Royal Melbourne, when they got that clubhouse done, they got that one right. It looks like it's been there for so long, that clubhouse. And I
Looks
always
nice from a
find that-
distance here, back down 18, something like that.
comfortable. Kingston Heath is a ripper.
Kingston Heath is
Love
good.
the Kingston
I'm big
Heath
on the wine
clubhouse.
cellars, you see. I quite like Metropolitan because they've got a nice wine cellar
Metro's
in
got
the middle.
wine cellar.
But my
it's got a
favourite,
ripper.
it's Cathedral. It's almost
Understated.
You feel like you're walking into
Yeah.
a home. And
Yeah,
it's,
that's right.
It's great.
Yeah, they're all different, and they are all very intrinsic to what the members feel.
I tell you, one of the best locker rooms I ever walked into, I never played a tournament there. It was more, I got a social round of golf, was Seminole.
Now, I've heard a lot about this joint,
Yes.
but I've never been there. I think they had a US amateur there not long ago, and I saw a lot of the course,
Well,
I didn't see the clubhouse.
They always have the Monday after what used to be called the Honda at I don't know what it's called now, the Cognizant, I think it is called now, at PGA National there down in West Palm Beach. The Monday Pro-Am was the Pro-Am to play in.
That's right.
It was a 2-ball best ball sort of thing,
Yeah.
and all the pros loved playing that. But the locker room there, you walk in, and it's more the men's locker room. It's got its own little bar at the back, got these couches, there's some animals hanging on the walls and everything, but the smell in there is just, you can smell the old cigar, the whiskey, and I think that's where Hogan used to go practice when when he was down in Florida. It's just got one of those awesome feels about it. Brilliant.
The Americans do it well, though. I mean, when I was working at Las Colinas, like I told you about, Las Colinas, the clubhouse was just an average. It's just stock standard American clubhouse. But when they had the member guest or the member, which in America are the two big ones, you'd walk in and they'd take your shoes and they'd take your clubs, and then you'd go in and register and you'd be given a locker key. You'd have a little bit of lunch, then you'd go to your locker, you'd find your locker, and your shoes were in there, and they had never looked better.
Pristine.
Like that. Pristine. Back when I did it, new spikes. Like they went to the trouble of putting new metal spikes in there. My white FootJoys had a gloss on them that I hadn't seen for a long time.
So that's one of the biggest differences between Australian golf clubs and American golf clubs. They have locker room attendants.
Oh, yeah.
And they're there to just buff your shoe. You know, the guy off Caddyshack. Oh, buff this one,
With a fine chamois.
But they're always just, what can we do for the members? Whereas here it's more self-serve, self-sufficient type stuff. And you'd almost love to see that here, but it just won't work.
Yeah.
So.
I've just told you about this before, but the bloke running that show, his name was Sydney. And Sydney pocketed that much cash. During the member and the member guest. I mean, it was basically, I worked there and I gave him $200 just for doing it. I mean, it was just, they're great places, American clubhouses, when they want to be.
Are.
Yep.
Okay, got an email here. This is from Tom. Guys, I seem to remember someone telling the story of an ex-pro who was having some bad foot pain, which nearly ended his career. The pain ended up being due to a tight muscle or a nerve issue somewhere else in his body, maybe in his hip or his back. Do you know who this pro was and this person? My interest is because I have had chronic foot pain for a while now that multiple podiatrists and physios have been unable to work out. I thought the story sounded really interesting and I'd like to have a look into it. Thank you very much. Waiting for the rake pod, Tom.
We'll get there, Tom. We'll get to the rake pod. Jose Maria is the big one.
He's the main one that comes to mind with foot pain. And I think for him it might have been to do with his big toe.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Yeah.
And this was before he won his second Masters.
That's right.
So
he
won the
overcome
Masters. And then he basically thought, I'm not coming back. He couldn't walk, couldn't get out of bed for a while. And now I don't know the details around what the issue was. I'll have to do a bit of research. I mean, do you know anything more about it? Or
No, all I know is it's quite a famous case about foot pain and what it did to him. And obviously our friend who's sent the message in is experiencing something serious pain as well to the point where probably needs a cart. But look, what I would do is I would Google Jose Maria Lathabel foot pain, read up about it. There'll definitely be stuff out there. Maybe not use Google. Start using AI, Grok.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, get on the Grok or Chat GPT or whatever it is, and you will find a lot of detail if you do look that up.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Yeah. Let us know how you go, Tom. That'd be helpful. Well, one last one to finish on. We've got heaps. We'll just finish on this one here. This is a question for you from Stefan. Stefan said, "G'day, gents. New listener here. I've been listening since Christmas, and I'm a golfer.
Welcome aboard, Steph.
Nice.
I first picked up a club around June last year, and I've worked my way down to a 20.
Holy moly!
That's pretty good after being.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Less than a year.
Yeah. I've recently signed up at a Barossa Valley club in South Australia, whilst on the wait list closer to home in the northeastern suburbs of Adelaide. Now, my home club, here's the question. My home club with Cooch fairways are quite fluffy in comparison to the more prestigious metro clubs, which I found have perfectly manicured tight fairways that are beautiful. But in the last half a dozen times I've been fortunate enough to get out on those courses, the metro ones, I've struggled to hit iron shots off such tight fairways, and often I get into my own head with fats and thins and shanks. Yeah. It only gets worse as I progress up the bag. I would love any tips or advice you have for this. Thank you very much, from Stefan.
I've seen this a lot. So when the ball sits up, it's very easy to hit up on the ball.
Sweep it away.
Yeah, absolutely. But off the tight lies, if you're trying to hit the ball up, if you don't hit the ground and the club is going up once you get to the ball, then you're going to hit it thin. And if you get under the ball to try and hit the ball up, well, you can't get under the ball because the grass is there and the ground is there. So it sounds to me, Steph, that you are trying to help the ball up in the air instead of letting the ball bounce off the loft.
Yeah, and a good little drill for that on the driving range would be you can either put an alignment stick, maybe half a foot behind the ball and miss the alignment stick. Yep. If you don't like doing that because it can fly around everywhere.
That's the best one.
Put a sheet of paper or a towel behind the ball, about 6 inches or so, and that'll make you come down into the ball a bit steeper, which is what you want.
That's right. Actually, don't put an alignment stick down because you'll break it.
You can do.
Go into the clubhouse and get a straw.
Or a straw, there you go.
Go in the clubhouse and get a straw and put the straw somewhere behind the ball that makes you feel uncomfortable, makes you feel like you might hit the straw, and learn to miss the straw. So you'll go back, you'll just lift it up just a little bit, go over the straw and then come down, and do not touch that straw. And you'll find you'll be hitting down on the golf ball pretty quick.
Perfect.
You'll also find that, I bet, that you'll start following through with some balance. I bet you're a back foot player, Steph. I bet you find yourself on that back foot all the time.
Call.
A couple of weeks ago, you had that photo of Wilbur that you posted, the beautiful photo, and we did a caption contest.
Nice.
Where we got some people to list a few captions.
Okay.
I've got a bunch here. I reckon we'll do it next week.
Okay.
I want to go through them and have a bit of a look, and we'll pick out a few of the good ones.
Yeah.
There was some that were a little bit on the rude side. So
Good. Okay. I was going to say, it gives the Talk Birdie to me smartasses out there in the Wolfpack another week to come up with some good ones.
Well, there is that. I reckon that's it for today, guys. So we're at Titleist FootJoy headquarters. You've got the sexy FootJoys on there, Mark.
Yes,
as you call them.
Best shoes I've ever worn. The Premier. Go to footjoy.com.au. The brand new Premiers are there. And by the way, the Pro V1. If you're not using a Pro V1 or a Pro V1X or a Pro V Soft or all the other balls on the range, go get yourself sorted out in the pro shop right now. Get a ball fitting. Everyone talks about getting their clubs fitted. Get a ball fitted. I got my ball fitted last time, and it has helped me. I went from a Pro V1 to a Pro V1X, and it really has helped quite a lot.
And there's something else people have to do. Subscribe to the podcast.
Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, push the subscribe button for us, and we'll see you next time.
And that's been Talk Birdie to Me, Australia's most popular golf podcast, with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.